All right, it's official. I am being laid off. Just received my preliminary reduction in force notice that I am, what's the word? Notice of recommendation not to reemploy for 2025-2026. You are receiving this notice either because you serve in a particular kind of service that is being reduced or eliminated.
For 2 years.
So, can someone please just explain to me how the teacher of the year gets laid off? And yes, I am upset. But I think I'm so angry right now that it's going to take me some time to sift through these emotions. I love my students. I always will.
Teacher of the year. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this and I'm not understanding how this is making sense.
Tricking so many Americans into believing that getting rid of the Department of Education is a good thing has got to be one of the most heinous crimes against Americans. The marginal dollars that you think you're gonna save, which, by the way, you're not. What a joke. They fucking played you so hard. Education, access to education, access to resources that enable education is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. To strip that away from people, it's disgusting. I'm smiling, but it's not funny, and I actually genuinely feel bad for those people. This is not one of those, like, dancing on your grave kind of things. No, I feel so bad for you.
All this for the sake of cutting costs for the rich.
Gotcha.
Nearly 80% of schools in Colorado are closed because teachers are at the state capitol protesting newly proposed cuts to public education. The Denver Teachers Union says they're worried the new proposal could cause layoffs and balloon class sizes, hurting students in the process.
We are seeing and hearing a lot. Thousands of teachers expected here on the steps of the Colorado State Capitol, and you're getting a glimpse of just a few of them right now. They are still showing up as we speak because they're protesting specifically two things: how schools are funded in the state of Colorado, and millions that were promised last year that are now in limbo because the state of Colorado is facing a $1.2 billion budget shortfall. And as we kind of walk around this crowd here, you are going to see educators from all over the entire state here, Chris, that have come up to make sure that their voices are heard.
It's scary because it's coming from the state and from the federal, so we just don't feel like there's any solace. We're kind of in this pincer movement of like, where is this funding going to come from?
Do you feel your classroom could be compromised?
Absolutely. We do absolutely the best that we can with what we've got.
Stop paying for stuff that doesn't actually benefit the taxpayers, Like people that should have been sent back from where they came from are in the country legally. What does this have to do with education?
Being a teacher in this country is like being on a roller coaster that I can't fucking get off, and I don't even fucking like roller coasters, okay? I have spent 5.5 years in college, $65,000. I am now a teacher at a Title I in a state that is in the bottom 10 of the 50 states, okay? We're not known for our education, right? I love my school. It's nothing against my school, but the state very clearly does not value a good education for its citizens. And it's probably because we have a lot of snowbirds. Why would they give a fuck? But you know who else doesn't give a fuck? Our president. And the thing that really bothers me is if you consistently put down getting an education and devalue an education, it only makes the next generation easier to manipulate. Our kids can't read, they can't write, they can't do math. And trust me, I teach middle school. If they can't do those skills in middle school, they're not going to develop them by the time they graduate high school. You can try, and believe me, I do, but they need those in elementary. That's where it starts. It really starts at home if we want to get specific, but parents aren't ready to hear that it's also their fault. And if those kids then grow up and they start hearing the leader of our country, who should be a role model, our president should be someone that people can look up to and respect, and they see them devaluing education, they see them spouting facts, these kids don't know how to analyze things. They don't know how to interpret things. They don't know how to fact check someone. Those are skills that they're likely not going to have a good solid grasp on by the time they graduate high school with where they're at right now. How are they not going to avoid being manipulated? Like, I'm just questioning, if we're failing these kids and we're just moving them on to grade before they understand anything, they become really dumb adults. There's a reason why people that are highly educated tend to often be more left-leaning. It's not just, oh, the liberals, like, they just bring more empathy. You are exposed to more people. You're exposed to different cultures. You're exposed to more facts besides the one, like, sheltered view of facts. So you're going to have a much deeper understanding, where the other side doesn't really support that. They want you to hear what they say and just say, yes, sir. And that's where we're headed. I don't think that I have a future to be a teacher in this country with where we're at. And all I ever wanted was to be a teacher. And it's really depressing. And I don't know how much longer I can stay on this ride before I have a mental breakdown. I'm so scared for these kids.
We're here losing valuable teachers. People don't want to even take this career anymore. Their life is always on a pendulum, whether you're going to have your job or you're going to get fired. And then where do you go from there? You might as well now start to look outside, maybe abroad, where they value education highly, like out in Europe or, in Asia.
My name is Ms. Torres, and I am one of the 387 educators at my school district who was laid off last Friday. Every day I walk into my classroom and I have this internal battle with myself over why I should keep going. I have considered leaving education altogether, not because I want to, but because of the lack of respect for educators in the United States. I am not just a number. I am a tenured teacher. I am the history department chair at my school, and my entire department was wiped out. Over the past 4 years, I've been working tirelessly to make our history courses more equitable for the students we serve. I currently teach AP US History and Government and Politics. Next year, I was set to introduce a new course for my department. When I was informing my students that I've been laid off, they shouted in frustration. Many who signed up for my course was only because I was going to be their teacher. I am not just a number. I am a first-generation Mexican-American who became a teacher to educate students like me. When I was in school, the representation was scarce. Just when we finally got it together, these massive layoffs are threatening to erase the progress we've made. I fear for the future of my school. We have worked so hard to create a strong and positive school culture, and losing more than half of our staff will destroy everything we've created.
Who's going to take care of these children? Who's going to educate them? I mean, what's really going on? At this point in time, we're going to have a bunch of people laid off with no work to do. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Guys, it really does help the channel. It costs nothing. In fact, it's just to help the channel even grow better and more people to watch the video. I appreciate you anyway if you did. Anyway, let's get back into it.
I don't think people realize what would happen if the Department of Education was shut down tomorrow. So here's 4 key programs that would be impacted the most. The first one, Title I funding. Title I schools could lose essential funding that directly impacts an estimated 2.8 million students in low-income communities. And just to clarify, schools can use Title I funds if at least 40% of their student population is low income. Oftentimes though, that percentage is a lot higher.
Of course.
The second program is IDEA, which provides special education services to about 7.5 million students. Now, these are students with specific learning disabilities, students with language disorders, students with developmental delays, students with ADHD, and students with autism, just to name a few. The third program that would be impacted is a department that protects students against discrimination based on race, gender, and disability. This means students would have zero protection against schools, which is a pretty big deal. And the last one is Pell Grants and federal student loan programs would also be gone. This means students who rely on federal loan programs to pay for higher education would have to find private loans instead. And we all know that private loans don't have the best terms, leaving many students unable to fund their education. Basically, it's a bad idea.
A lot of moms are going to find out that what Donald Trump thought of disabled reporters is what he thinks of their kids. Some people are like, wait till Trump supporters see how this affects their children.
The Department of Education issued a memo on Friday evening. This administration loves sending out memos on Friday and Saturday night. They ain't got no life. The memo said we give you $25,000 if you leave, because if you don't, you're going to get laid off anyway. You're only going to get this $25,000 in cash. And why in cash? Why is it not in like a check or something? This all sounds shady. Anywho, you're going to get this $25,000 in cash if you resign by Monday, 11:59 p.m. Could somebody tell me what the unemployment rate is now? It got to be like 50%. Ain't nobody got no job now. Anyway, y'all have the day that y'all voted for.
Okay, so now we're cutting teachers and we're laying teachers off. Teachers? I thought we didn't have enough of those. What is happening? Teachers. We're actually letting teachers go. I saw a teacher on this app right here that said that she was teacher of the year and she just got a letter to be laid off. The fuck? Really? I'm so glad I'm out of that profession. And no, I do not want to go back. I am your favorite neighborhood auditor, and that's what I'm going to continue to be. Give me the numbers, because the numbers are still going to be numbering regardless. I'm in a profession that we are always supposed to need. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to need finance. We're supposed to need numbers. Like, I like it. But damn, who going to teach these babies? I'm so glad I'm almost at the age where my child is going to be out of high school in a few minutes. And I ain't having no more kids. So I just feel bad for the kids that are coming up through the system now. Like, they're going to get riffraff and they're going to be in overcrowded classrooms like they already are. But it's going to be even worse. What in the hell? I know our government is stretched thin as far as finances and debt and things of that nature. But I don't think Trump, being that he's filed bankruptcy like, 8 times, I don't think he's the right person to help us get out of debt. Wouldn't you think?
I would agree.
I am so sorry to the Department of Education workers that were let go. It is so heartbreaking to hear that these families are being affected by these horrible individuals that are letting them go. We have so much going on in the world right now, and for people to continue to lose their jobs, how do you think these families are going to get by? Your little severance packages is not going to help these people get by. Taking away people's livelihoods will not prevail. And again, I am so sorry to the 1,300 people that had to go through this, because it's not fair. It is not fair that y'all have to keep going through this. Anybody that's, getting these stupid letters saying that they no longer have a job, it's just not fair to people.
In my mind, I'm thinking, like, what made them decide that this is the area that they need to cut? Out of everything, like the military budget, it's probably one place you want to be looking at. Who are we fighting for? I mean, we can just easily stop these wars. We don't need to be fighting.
I just have a question for teachers. How are you getting through the school year right now? With the knowledge or uncertainty that you'll have your job for next year? Our school just went through layoffs, and it's just a weird vibe. There's just a weird vibe everywhere. Every classroom. I feel like for so long, we've been being told that this career will always have a job. And right now, and for a while, we haven't been filling jobs, and not enough people have been coming in. And now we just went through waves of rifts, or at least in Washington State. No jobs for the people who just graduated. There's no jobs for the people who were 3-year teachers and just got rifted. There's nothing. There's no job. I'm at a loss for words.
God. We're just having mass layoffs on layoffs on layoffs on layoffs. We're adding more layers to the list of people who have been already laid off. People from tech, federal workers, teachers, veterans. Literally, they're going after everyone. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys, because this doesn't make any sense. Do you think that the dismantling of the Department of Education is really worth it? Getting rid of all of these teachers. Is that really how you guys envision the country to be going? Leave your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this. But nevertheless, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.